Ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in tonight out of your busy work week and joining us for another beautiful week of NFL Pick'ems. Week 16 coming at you. Fortunately, no Thursday night game tonight, but we do have a couple Saturday games coming up, so those should be fun to look forward to. And I'm joined always by my special co-host, Mr. Timothy Spooney. How are you doing over there, sir?
I'm doing good. Just the ending of the NFL is coming to an end, especially when we know there's no Thursday night football, Shim.
Right.
So it's hard. It gets hard, but we do the best we can to keep up with the football talks.
Yeah, it's a sad period for sure. I know we talked about it last Tuesday on Fury. It just the season flies by and it takes forever to get back here, man. It's a long, long wait, but let's get into it. Saturday, we got a Saturday kicking off with a couple games. We got those Indy Colts. They're going to be traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. As it stands, Tim, the Ravens, they're the 7th seed in the AFC. But if they win out, they'll be a wild card team. So the Colts have absolutely nothing to play for but to be the spoiler of an AFC opponent in pride. Looking at this matchup, there really isn't any indication that Indy is going to be able to stop the Ravens defensively. They are bad across the board as they rank 31st in points per game, 29th in rushing yards per game, and 30th in passing yards per game. Last week, they made it seem like Peyton Manning was back in Denver. On the other end, nothing indicates the Colts should also be able to score on Baltimore. The Ravens are 4th in points per game allowed, which matches up with the Colts being 31st in points per game. So Ravens are ranked 9th in passing yards per game allowed, while the Colts are 30th in passing yards per game. We've also talked about that Colts protection in the past. They're 32nd in sacks allowed this season. And in the sacks department, the Ravens are tied 7th. So everything is pretty much just merging together beautifully for Baltimore. The Ravens seem to have a good thing going for them this season against losing teams as well. They have just one loss to a sub-500 team this season. If the Ravens are going to miss the playoffs, I don't think it's going to be this week, Tim. I got Baltimore taking this 29-17. Dab it up, Tucker.
Jim, I disagree with you. One thing, just one thing. You said the Colts have nothing to play for, and they do. They have the 3rd pick overall in the NFL draft right now. That's a lot to play for and to say, oh, you know what, let's play good for a minute, and we're going to tank in the 4th quarter. This is so, especially with the main issues going towards the end of the to the off season. We have Andrew Luck issue. If his career is done, is he ever going to be back? The Colts going to need a franchise quarterback, so you want to stay in that top 3. Of course, they said Frank Gore's coming back, but we all know he's not a franchise running back as well. You want to have options with that top 5 pick. I'm not going to say the Colts are going to lose on purpose, but I believe they're going to play and watch themselves and making sure they stay in that top 3 spot. Baltimore Ravens, you are correct. They have if they went out, they have the wild card spot. They control their own destiny. They're playing pretty good. They almost beat the Steelers a couple of weeks ago. Baltimore. This is an easy game. I have the Baltimore Ravens winning this game 21-10.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer in my book either. We got a second Saturday game, and that's going to be the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to be traveling to Lambeau Field taking on those Green Bay Packers. The Vikings have clinched the NFC North, but they're still fighting for that first-round bye and a shot at home field advantage throughout the playoffs, which for the Vikes would include the Super Bowl. Imagine that. That would be something. The Packers have been eliminated with the Falcons win this past Monday night. So much for plugging in Aaron Rodgers for that one game, eh, Tim? Although eliminated, the Packers will absolutely play with some pride and try to attain the W for the fans of Lambeau Field, while Hundley tries to prove these next couple of weeks that he's a viable starter in this league. The Vikings secondary has continued to lock people down, and they're terrific in the secondary. The Vikings are only allowing 6.3 passing yards per attempt. That's 3rd in the NFL. You can mention any name in that secondary. Terrence Newman, Trey Waynes, Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes. They're all versatile, find their way to get their hands on the ball, and they make it a headache for opposing wideouts. Without a healthy Rodgers, it's going to be a lot of work on Hundley to make perfect throws and have that run game come alive again against the second-best run defense in the Vikings. which they hold opponents to 85.3 rushing yards per game. This is a no-brainer for me as well, Tim. I got the Minnesota Vikings taking this 31-18.
Damn. You know what, Shim? You know, we don't rehearse this. I mean, my scores is pretty much.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, wow. I mean, here's my thing with the Green Bay Packers. Shame on you guys. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, do not rush Aaron Rodgers back. And what did you do? You rushed him back. The whole team looked totally different. It was working with the running game. It was totally different. Now, in this game, he wasn't 100% healthy. Okay, yes, he could have. It was they had a turnover where he had to make that drive again. But guess what happened? The receiver fumbled the ball. Game over. So you basically gonna activate him to try to win you this game, and then now say, okay, we out the season, so let's just deactivate him and put back Brett Hundley. What I would have did was, Shim, was at least let Brett Hundley play that Carolina game versus Minnesota, which is a better opponent. I would have played Aaron Rodgers, especially that he's home. Minnesota Vikings, Shim, I mean, listen, they're gonna play this game to get the home field throughout the playoff. They want everybody having to go through Minnesota, and they have the best defense in the NFC so far. So this is a cakewalk. I have the Minnesota Vikings win this game 28-14.
Great minds as always, baby. We're gonna move it on to Christmas Eve. All right, Sunday games. Let's get into this. We got the Tampa Bay Bucks traveling to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers clinch a playoff berth with a win. Tampa Bay is playing for nothing. Tim, don't you tell me otherwise. Unless they want to eat more imaginary W's off their folded up fingers. This Bucks team will have a lot of overhaul when the 2018 offseason hits. Jameis Winston has had 4 games this season with a QB rating above 100, and in those games, he's 1-3, with the only win coming against the Giants in Week 3. Jameis is inconsistent, but if we're going to allow other QBs a bit of relief with no running game, I think we should be able to do the same with Jameis. He's had Doug Martin behind him his whole Tampa Bay tenure, and Martin's last good season was in 2015 when he had 1,400 rushing yards. Other than that, he hasn't done much since his rookie campaign himself, Dougie Fresh. As much as Jameis is inconsistent, he can be questioned at times. He's like a Stafford in the regard that he desperately needs a threat behind him to open up the passing game more for himself. The Panthers in the past few weeks have evolved into a scary-ass team compared to what they looked like in the first 10 weeks or so. Cam Newton looks locked in right now. He's absolutely slinging the ball with authority, and he had 4 scores on that Packers defense this past weekend. The Panthers are home. That defense is playing good football. I like what they got going on right now, Tim. I got the Panthers 27-20.
Wow. Shim, I'm going to tell you this right now. When it all boils down to the Carolina Panthers, yes, you're right. They are balling right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers do have something to play for, though. What they have to play for is their jobs. Because you have the coach, Loetta, I forgot, pardon me if I'm saying his name wrong. He's on the hot seat. He's a free agent off of his rookie deal. Next season will be his last year. Evans, he still is not a free agent. It's like 2 years with the 5th-year option, but he wants to be paid now. So we have 3 guys, the most important pieces on this Buccaneers team: the head coach, the quarterback, and their big threat wide receiver, who are playing for their jobs almost. Evans, are we gonna give you the money this year? Make you the highest paid wide receiver, Jameis Winston. Are you gonna be the franchise quarterback to lead us to the next decade? Hey, coach, are you gonna be the guy to coach these guys? I give him a hand for the way they played the Atlanta Falcons last week. I mean, I questioned the referee, how he fell to the floor. Then they missed a 55-yard field goal with Murray. Tampa Bay still play, especially losing some key plays during the game. Carolina Panthers, I mean, what can you say? They can't lose 2 games. They in competition with the other NFC South teams, the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. So they want to stay in. But Shim, I'm a Cowboys fan. I see you got the Christmas tree there. I see Santa somewhere around there. So guess what? Santa, I need the Panthers to lose this game. So I got the Buccaneers in the upset, winning this game 17-14. Yo, 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 Merry Christmas.
Oh, dear Lord. Moving on. Cleveland Browns, they're going to be going to face the Chicago Bears. The Browns, they're trying the best, man, to avoid going 0-16, while the Bears don't want to be that team labeled as the only dub in the Browns' schedule. Let's try to look at the positives for the Browns in this situation, all right? The reasons the Browns will win this game and avoid going 0-16 on the year joining our premier Detroit Lions football organization, the Bears only have 4 wins. Chicago has had their own struggles this season with a very inexperienced rookie quarterback and riding on the lies of Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen for their success. John Fox has also hinted publicly that he feels he'll be fired at the end of the year. The Bears' best attack is also the Browns' best strength. The Bears rush 45.8% of the time, which is 7th in the NFL, and the Browns are only allowing 3.3 yards per carry. Guess what? That's actually 1st in the NFL, something they're actually good in. But going on the other end of why the Browns won't win, let's look at this, the cons of this. The Bears don't want to end up like the 2016 Chargers, losing that game to the Browns and making them 1-15 on the year. Another not so positive stat going for the Browns is this one is on the road in Chicago. The Browns have lost 19 straight road games. But contradicting that stat, Hugh Jackson, he has a 2-0 record on Christmas Eve. It's not a very promising sign of a first win for the Browns, but it's a Christmas miracle they're going to be praying for. Deshaun Kaiser's confidence is shot, and I believe this Browns team goes for yet another quarterback in the 2018 draft. The Browns will have one more week to avoid making history. I got the Bears taking this one 23-20, Tim.
Wow. You know what, Shim? Both these franchises are bad. Both of them. They both need big-time changes. I'm more mad at the Bears for the way how they gave up so much draft picks for Mitch Trubisky and now questioning him as the franchise quarterback going to next season. They're gonna have a new coach. There was word on the street that John Fox was told that this may be the last season for him to coach the Bears. So, it's gonna be new head coach, new everything. The only thing the Bears really have is worth keeping is, pretty much everything on the defensive side of the ball and just Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen on offense. That's about it. That's the most positive thing they have going forward. The Cleveland Browns. I do like the draft picks for the Browns. I do like Hugh Jackson as the head coach, but they got a new GM. We don't know what's going to happen. So when we have 2 teams that are about to make some big changes in the offseason, the number one thing you want to do is have a nice low draft pick. You want to basically try to get an impact player in the top 5 of the draft. The Cleveland Browns may have 2 picks in the top 5. They have the number 1 overall currently right now, and they may have the 5th overall if they play their cards right. Now, who's behind the Cleveland Browns in the draft order? The New York Giants with 2 wins, and the Colts with 3 wins. Hey, so wait a minute. So calculations. Browns. Okay, we got the Bears, and then we got the Steelers. So okay, all we need to do is we know that the Steelers are gonna beat us. Just win one game to make it look good. Shim. It's a no-brainer. I have the Cleveland Browns winning their first game of the year because they're going to lose against the Steelers next week. I have them winning 17-14.
Damn, yeah, 3-point difference for the both of us. Right. Let's move it on. Detroit Lions are going to be visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. The Lions can make the playoffs with 2 wins and help from either the Falcons or the Panthers losing twice. Highly unlikely, but the Bengals aren't playing for Jack Diddley. They could potentially go out there and play with pride like grown men should, but who in the hell can trust Andy Dalton at this point? And who in the right mind would go out there giving it their all for a coach of Marvin Lewis has most likely been the same stagnant head coach for years? For the Lions, what a turnaround for a couple of players. I'm looking at Eric Ebron, who can still have some of those drop issues, but has greatly improved in that department, and he's become a serious weapon for Stafford. They envisioned him to be when drafted. And then my other guy is Marvin Jones. He came on the spot with Lions last year by week 3 when he had amassed 408 yards in those 3 games, thanks in large part to that 205-yard game against Green Bay. But he ended up with 930 total yards in the season. Not terrible, but he fizzled out compared to his hot start. This year, he's been much more consistent as he already has 970 yards and doubling his touchdowns with 8 currently with 2 games still to play. So there's really nothing to harp on in Cincy Town. They've scored 7 points each of the past 2 weeks. And last week they had 1 damn first down in the first half. That's absolutely laughable. I'm not even spending time wasting my breath on this team until the start of the next football season. I got the Lions taking this one, Tim. 28-17.
Shim, yes, I'm going to admit, yes, I am a Cowboy fan. And yes, we do need help from the Bengals and Marvin Lewis. Yes, we do. We need the Lions to lose 1 game. But you know what, Shim? I have some very good reasons why the Bengals could win this game. Hey, listen, the players love Marvin Lewis. They respect that man. They're gonna feel a certain way that, wow, this guy's getting fired. We may not have him. This is our fault. So this is their last home game of the season. There's no better way than to play inspired football for the head coach you love. Detroit Lions now. Matthew Stafford is battling his hand. Also got a shoulder injury from last week's game. You know, the last play of the game, you see him walk the way he was walking, it didn't look too good. So he's pretty much banged up, but Matthew Stafford is a tough SOB. He's gonna do whatever it takes to try to win this game. But I love that the Bengals will play inspired football for the head coach they love. He is like their father figure. It's all love. I have an upset. The Bengals winning this game 21-20.
Oh, man. Loving Marvin Lewis. Get out of here. You just being nice because it's Christmas. Yeah, love it.
That's daddy.
You think he's going after the season, Tim? Honestly, Marvin Lewis?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. I don't think.
Okay.
I think it'll be 1 more year.
I got you. Miami Dolphins are traveling to Arrowhead facing those Kansas City Chiefs. The Dolphins' slim playoff hopes rest on winning out and getting a lot of help. The Chiefs clinched the AFC West with a win. I believe either Andy Reid or Alex Smith, one of them, was listening to us on the show the past couple weeks, Tim, because it seems like Alex Smith finally pulled his head out of his ass. It was a great time to do so as well, as the Chiefs were getting dangerously close to getting out of the playoff race after starting off as the best team in football. And it came against the stout Chargers defense, which should be good to instill a little more confidence in Alex going down the stretch. And he played great. He completed 77% of his passes for 231 yards and 2 TDs. And what scares me is how good this team can look for a few weeks, and then they come out and they lose to some of the worst competition in football. Right now, with the pattern they've been showing, the Chiefs should be good for another win or two before falling face first in the dirt. The important part is the Chiefs have been able to produce 160 rushing yards or more in the past 2 weeks. That's the part that really opens up the passing game and makes Alex Smith more comfortable. That's vital. With the Dolphins, you never know what the hell you're going to get out of the defense. 1 week they can show up, rattle Tom Brady, look like an all-pro defense, and then they go out and they let Tyrod Taylor look like an MVP candidate. I don't get it. I don't have much confidence in a team that's on the outside looking in with a quarterback that was happy to get more money just to go back to the beach in May next year with $10 more million in his pocket. The team that I've been flip-flopping on a lot of this year, I got Kansas City 31-17.
Oh, wow, Shim.
Yeah.
31-17, that's it?
That's it in terms of how much they're scoring or how much the Dolphins are going to lose by.
Oh, you know what? How much the Dolphins going to win? Because now here's my take, Shim. Yes, the Miami Dolphins now, they got Tannehill. He's out for the year. He'll be coming back next season, hopefully in full strength. But there's talks that the Miami Dolphins may want to re-sign Jay Cutler for next year. Wow. I mean, not for nothing though. The Miami Dolphins look better the last 3 or 4 games. But wow. Now they have a new direction. There's no more Jay Ajayi. They're loving the kid, Kenyon Drake and Damian Williams. They love that. But the GM already said that he wants a clean house, especially guys like Ndamukong Suh contract. So we all know there will be some big changes for the Miami Dolphins. But going for the week, again, these last 2 weeks, I've always said the teams that are not making the playoffs is going to be about getting a good draft pick and making sure your star players do not play because there's no need to. You're not getting anything. There's a guy named Jarvis Landry who still wants. He's a free agent next year. He needs to get paid, even despite the domestic violence he has on his background from this past summer. But he wants to play. Lots of play for playoffs. Okay, basically, they don't want to be a team last week. I don't want to say their names, but they lost. It was a lot of paper trail in their loss with the first down. A lot of paper. I call it paper trail. And the Chiefs know. Listen, we have a leg up. We have to go out and win this division. So we needed to do what we need to do. How the Chiefs does at home. And you know what, Shim? The Chiefs are going to do what they need to do because they love to do at home, and that's going to be they're going to beat the Miami Dolphins 28-17.
There we go.
28-17.
Not too far off. We got the Buffalo Bills traveling to Gillette facing those New England Patriots. And the Patriots control their own destiny for home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. The Bills, they're battling for that wild card and will have a good chance if they can upset the Patriots in their own stadium. Before Gronk's ejection on his blow to the back of Tre'Davious White's head, he was virtually unstoppable, having 147 yards against Buffalo. Last week, Gronk put up $168 in receiving yards, which is a career high for the party boy. And he's the only tight end currently with 1,000 receiving yards. Reflecting back on the Week 13 matchup between these two teams, it was a game in which Tyrod Taylor probably wishes Nathan Peterman had started. Taylor had just 9 completions with a 35.6 passer rating and was sacked 3 times. The Patriots and Matt Patricia know how to game plan for Taylor by making him work with his arm, not his legs, which we've all seen he can do. If you can take away his best ability, you make him struggle by working through the mechanics of what isn't his primary attack. This will be no contest yet again. Yeah, go ahead, Bill. You know you want to smile. Patriots 34-20.
Oh wow, wow! You went up high with that one, Shim.
Yes, sir.
The Buffalo Bills. I love how they've been playing this year. They've been playing very good, especially on defense. It's still a shame how Tyrod Taylor only has LaShawn McCoy, and that's it. Who is Deontay Thompson? That's right, the guy from the Bears. Who's Kelvin Benjamin? Oh, he's that big receiver. They call him a tight end. Who's the other guy? The rookie. That's the problem. He has nothing to work with but LaShawn McCoy. The game plan for the Patriots is, if we want home field throughout the playoffs, all we need to do is shut down McCoy and make sure Tyrod throws to his nobodies. That's the problem. Shim, it's going to happen. I have the New England Patriots winning this game 28-17. The road to the Super Bowl will go through New England.
Got those Atlanta Falcons traveling to face the New Orleans Saints. The winner of this game clinches a playoff berth. The loser still has a good chance of making the postseason. This game comes from the best division in the NFL, which is in the NFC South, where we may end up seeing 3 teams with double-digit wins by the end of the regular season. It'll be an interesting game as you have basically some of the best backs in the league under one dome. In the Week 14 matchup between these two squads, the Falcons had 132 rushing yards. That's good for 3.6 a carry. Overall, the Saints may feel the better tandem as they have 21 rushing touchdowns and a team stat of 4.9 yards on average. I also like the Saints passing defense better as they have 16 interceptions compared to Atlanta's 4. The Saints create more opportunities for Breeze and gang, and that's what ultimately is winning them games with great output. I look for nothing to change here. I got those Saints. Who Dey Nation taking it 34-24.
Shim, Atlanta Falcons so far have been very fortunate. Against the New Orleans Saints, it came down to Drew Brees making one of the biggest mistakes he made throwing into a crowded backfield, and which led to an interception. The Falcons won the game. Then last week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the Atlanta Falcons up the fence. They had them. They had them. I'm not saying it could have went to overtime, but the problem was Atlanta, you are a better team than the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers, they hung with you to the fourth quarter. It took a referee to fall on the floor and waste more time in a field goal kicker to miss the field goal kick. I'm not feeling good about Atlanta. The New Orleans Saints, they're home. When they're home, they're a different team. They get the job done. It's when they're on the road there's a problem. I think the New Orleans Saints have a lot of weapons to throw at the Atlanta Falcons, whether it's running game, whether it's the receiving game, and I like their defense. Matter of fact, this team may have I don't know how if it's ever happened, but year and defensive rookie of the year on the same team. Alvin Kamara and Lattimore, the cornerback. That's wow. That's an amazing accomplishment to have an offense and defensive rookie of the year on the same team. And this is one of the reasons why this New Orleans Saints is a playoff team, big time. With that being said, Shim, I have the New Orleans Saints as well winning this game 35-20 at home.
Bang, bang. There it is. Got those LA Chargers traveling to MetLife again to face those Jets. The Chargers are still alive in the playoff hunt, but will be eliminated with a loss. The Jets are completely out of it, and so is one of their defensive leaders in Wilkerson. I don't know what's going on with that guy. Phillip Rivers has been having a Pro Bowl season, and unfortunately had an off game thrown for 3 picks and only a touchdown. The Chargers are heading back to MetLife, and they beat the Giants there in Week 5. So they do have that notch under their belt. To be honest, if the Chargers don't win this game, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, Tim. They have one of the better defenses in the league, especially when you consider the pass rushers. And Bosa and Ingram will be squaring off against Bryce Petty. Bosa and Ingram, they have 21.5 sacks this season, which is second among all duos. And I'm looking for these two guys to take over the defensive aspect of the game. And I don't think the Jets will be in this much from the start of the coin toss, nor should they be. Chargers, 32-13.
Nice. Shim, I love everything about the New York Jets so far this year. I love Todd Bowles. I hope
Adams,
Woody Johnson. I hope he did the smart thing and retain Todd Bowles. Do not be an idiot and fire this man. This man, if you see what he's doing with that defense, it's only going to get better the more you Todd Bowles been incredible. The rookie Jamal Adams, as you called it, he's incredible too. Josh McCown did a great job. I felt bad how he went out with the injury, and he showed that emotion so far as him not able to finish out the season. But you can tell how that coach has changed. Even running back expressed how that coach in that locker room, how it's so different. I think the Jets have a bright future. But for this game, you're playing against a Chargers team that to make the play. I think they have too many weapons. If you try to shut one part down, they have the other part. They have a great running game. They have a great receiving game. Listen, and it's Phillip Rivers. He said, I'm taking the Chargers to win this game 24-17 on the road.
Yes, sir. We got those other LA team, the Rams, traveling to Tennessee to face those Titans. And the Rams can clinch the NFC West with a win. The Titans would win the AFC South by winning out, and the Jaguars lost to the 49ers. How likely that is seems very faint to me. The Titans have a much better record than the way they've played all season. It's apparent that Mariota is playing through some injuries, but has also become the victim to suspect head coaching and maybe losing a bit of his confidence he's displayed in the first couple seasons. Coming into this year, the Titans had one of the best regarded offensive lines with a couple nice toys behind it in DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry. Then they display an outing like they did last week to the 49ers, rushing for 90 yards on 28 carries, 2.8 yards per carry. That almost seems to be the answer for most defenses now that Mariota has struggled. Stop the two toys in the backfield, and the Titans will ultimately struggle on the offense. That's nothing the Rams can't accomplish. I got those Rams taking this 35-15 in a bloodbath.
Shim, I'm making this more about this is a rematch of the old Super Bowl with the Rams and the Tennessee Titans when the Rams won right at the goal line. That was a great game. You know what, Shim? I know this is a whole new different era, it's a whole new different, but it's the Rams. They lost to the Eagles. They demolished the Seattle Seahawks last week. But now you're going to an angry Tennessee Titans team that lost on the last minute to the 49ers, knowing that the Jacksonville Jaguars now are above you, knowing to stay in the playoff race. And yes, Mariota's not himself, but I love the supporting cast, Shim. They have a solid running game. I love the defense led by Wesley Woodyard, Dory Jackson. Listen, that man can do it. And as I look at the Rams, their weakness is with the Rams, you can run the ball. See, the Titans got something they can do that everybody has been doing the whole season, running the football. If you run the ball on the Rams, you slow all of it down. The whole thing down. Murray, okay? You got Derrick Henry. You got enough to slow it down, and you got a good receiving cast, Mariota. Wake up! Wake up! That was my Lawrence Fishburne thing from the movie School Days. Wake up. Being said, Shim, I have the Tennessee Titans in the upset, winning this game 21-14 at home.
Denver Broncos are going to be traveling to face those Washington Redskins. Here's another game that has absolutely no playoff implications, but still has some meaning for players. For the Redskins, it'll be nice to finish 500 considering the adversary they face this season. Grown men don't ever like to lose. It's an ego and a pride thing. It would still be a little meaningful to say you didn't lose more than you won, especially for a player like Kirk Cousins who will become a free agent after this season. Lots of GMs and personnel are watching Cousins as he's attempting to finish with a 500 record. When you consider he's lost his top two receivers from last season, has mostly been without Jordan Reed all year, in the last 6 games without Chris Thompson, and rarely ever having his O-line healthy, that would be a huge accomplishment, and credit would be all on Kirk as he's always under the microscope in Washington for all the failures or the little bit of success they actually try to accomplish him or credit him with. It'll be time to see if Denver's 2016 first-round pick was the right choice now, as we can see that there was some injury woes over there in Denver, or if he's just a candidate to compete for the opening job next year with Paxton Lynch. So Cousins, hey, he might also be showing off his skills to a future employer next year. But for now, I got those Redskins taking this one 21-17, Tim.
Sam, pardon me if I get a little feisty in this pick right here. I know there was a first of all, Denver Broncos. It's a lot of question marks. Is this Demaryius Thomas' last season as a Bronco? There's rumors saying they may want to trade him. They may want to let go of Emmanuel Sanders as well. We got to look at that. They have quarterback issues. Guys like Akeem Talib may not be a Bronco next year. So this is a team that's going to explode pretty much in the offseason and go a whole new direction. They wasted a first-round pick on Patrick Lynch, and my God, it's like Elway regrets that pick for the way he seems. Okay, so with that, the Broncos, I mean, I don't see anything about even with this game, but I do with the Redskins, Shim. There was a certain fan who wanted to say a couple of things to me, to myself and Shim about, I guess, the Redskins. You know, the Redskins fans are always getting mad. I mean, don't take it personal. We're just saying our opinions. That's about it.
They really do get mad.
But y'all want to go a little hostile.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm not going to go there. But I will say this. I do like the Redskins this year. You know, I will say about the fans. The Redskins will win this game. But see, you fans out there, celebrate everything the Redskins do, which is losing. If you have a losing season, you'll come out and see, well, we got a better offensive line. Oh, I mean, is that your excuse? I mean, yes, Terrell Pryor. What happened with that? Oh, here's your excuse. Well, yeah, I question that too. You're lying. You did not question that when he got signed. Stop lying. Okay. What's the head coach? Your head coach is no good. Snyder is a bad owner. I mean, they don't know what they're doing, the Redskins. You know, it's a shame how the Carolina Panthers are selling their team. The Redskins should be selling their team a long time ago. That team right now is a circus. Bottom and Barely should own the Redskins right now. I wish they would. But you know what, Redskins fans? I'm going to go off on a good note with you guys. It's Christmas and all. Hey, I'm going to play your favorite song for me. What's your record? You're going to be 3-13, 5-11. Oh, now make the playoffs. So look, I'm going to celebrate this song with you and make the pick. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm losing season again. Damn. Nice. The Redskins will win this game 17-14. You see how nice I was? I played your song for y'all.
That was very nice.
Don't get mad. 17-14, Redskins fans. Merry Christmas.
There's a lot of sodium in Maryland food, apparently. We're going to move it on, though. This is Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to face those 49ers. The Jaguars, they've already clinched the playoff berth and will clinch the AFC South with a win. San Fran is eliminated, but could pose as a more interesting matchup with Jimmy G leading the 49ers on a 3-game winning streak. This will be Jimmy Garoppolo's toughest test yet as he's squaring off against the best defense in the league. The good thing to see in San Fran is despite only playing on offense, Garoppolo has raised the play on the defense as well. They know they can now play with a little bit of confidence and pride, knowing that once the offense gets the ball in its hands, it has a viable leader that can actually progress down the field and put numbers on the board. And hey, if Blake Bortles has been what's labeled as playing like trash the past few weeks, I'm sure Jacksonville hopes he can be the biggest dumpster for the next few weeks in that regard. I got Jacksonville taking this one 29-20. You heard me?
Wow, Shim. This, I'll say this. I'm happy for the 49ers to finally get a quarterback, franchise quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. 3-0 so far. It's a lot of good things for 49er fans to be excited for going to the offseason, new era. And as John Lynch said, all he wants to do is draft good pieces to put around Garoppolo. That's the great attitude of a GM. To build around his quarterback. But let's go to Jacksonville, Shim. In my opinion, the best team in the AFC. Yes, they're not the Patriots or the Steelers, but they have their defense is compared to the Baltimore Ravens of 2000. I mean, maybe not as good 1B to Baltimore's 1A. They're up there. It's a special defense. The offense is getting better as they get into the playoff. I've always said it's not how you start, it's how you finish going into the playoffs. Shim, this is gonna be a no-brainer right here. I'll tell you this. If this game becomes a last-minute finish where Garoppolo has on offense, 49ers fans, you should still be happy and excited. This defense is too good. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning this game 28-14
and
get that division title.
Absolutely. We got those G-men traveling to Arizona facing the Cardinals. And here's our last game of the week that has 0 playoff implications, and both teams are getting a fat sack of coal from jolly old St. Nick. What the Giants do have is a quarterback in Eli who prepares game plans, and he goes out and he tries to execute and win each Sunday, regardless of the fact that the team is 1-14 or 15-0. That's a trait I'll truly miss when Eli is no longer a Giant. For the Cardinals, they quietly have the sack leader employed on their team in Chandler Jones. He leads the league with 15 sacks. That's a recipe for disaster considering he'll be matched up against Eric Flowers, and the Giants have allowed 31 sacks on the year, tied for 11th. The recipe for the success in this Giants game will unfortunately be Eli Manning having to throw 50-plus times to put the team in position to win with depleted offensive weapons and some fill-ins now playing on the defensive side. With the Giants on the road going against a decent defense and an offense that has speed and versatility, could pose for some big-time plays, which will ultimately seal the game for those Cardinals. I got them taking this one 23-20.
You know what, Shim? I've always had respect for Eli Manning. I've gained more respect for him these last few weeks. And I hopefully everybody else seen it as well. This man was disrespected by Ben McAdoo, who's now unemployed. And the way Eli handled it, was very professional. Even with he wasn't a type of quarterback. So okay, if you in the offense go 3 now, you just sit in the sideline. He would still go there and coach these young guys up. It tells you how much of a leader he is. People always criticize Eli Manning for not being a vocal guy or a rah-rah guy, like say like Phillip Rivers. Okay, that may be something, but just because you don't what you don't see on the sideline doesn't tell how he is in the locker room or behind the scenes that we don't see. But I gain so much respect for Eli Manning. He's still playing football. He's still doing what he need to do. It's not about him. He's trying to help these guys grow. Like guys like Roger Lewis or King. These guys has been playing pretty, it's showing the world. Listen, we may not be a Giant next year, but we don't, look at us for being on another team. And these guys are playing. Last week, taking with the Eagles, Giants played pretty good. Okay, now that was the last home game. Now you're visiting the Arizona Cardinals in the desert. Different game. As much as I want to pick the Giants, Shim, he's playing. He's back. Larry Fitzgerald is going for that record. I believe it's the number 2 all-time receiving yards. Shim, the Giants want to stay at that number 2 spot. Yes, I'm saying it. They want to stay where they at number 2. They know when we try to mess around and win, we're going to 3 and 4, and they don't want to do that. They want us, we got this. Arizona Cardinals winning this game 21-14.
All right. That's what I like to hear.
I know. Listen, you know what? Webb may play. Webb may play this game.
We'll see. That little bitch. Seattle Seahawks, they're going to the Dallas Cowboys. The loser of this game is eliminated from playoff contention, so this is going to be a must-watch. The winner has a chance, but we'll need help along the way. The matchup to watch for, obviously, is going to be the Seahawks front going against Ezekiel Elliott. The Seahawks allowed 244 rushing yards to the Rams and Todd Gurley in Week 15. With how good the line and run game has been in Los Angeles this year, they're going to be facing a little more talented opposition in that regard when visiting Dallas. Jason Garrett is smiling because he doesn't have to make game time adjustments or be much of a coach anymore. And now Dak Prescott, he's smiling because he can now cover up his shoddy passing game with throwing less. And overall, the defense is happier because they'll eat up the time in a possession and they'll be on the field much less. Everybody loves Zeke. Zeke is the best, isn't he? As much as the Seahawks could stifle Dallas's run game, Bobby Wagner's banged up, and the team was having a little bit of its own Twitter beef amongst players. Yo, don't call me out, dog. Doesn't seem like things are trending upwards over there in Seattle, does it? LOB might be the Legion of Beyond, because they done. What do we got here? Yeah, I have to say it. Dallas, 28-24.
Wait. Say that score again, Shim.
28-24. Come out, Zeke. You know it's true.
All right, hold on. I want you to stay with that, Shim. You said 28-24, right?
That's
I
absolutely
want to let
correct.
everybody know we don't rehearse. The Seattle Seahawks, respect the Seahawks fans. For the last 4 or 5 years, your team was probably the best team in the NFL. The last 4 or 5 years. LOB now is turning to LOL. Why? Because got too comfortable. You see, you got a franchise quarterback in Russell Wilson. Yeah, you paid him, but you got to pay. When you paid him, you forgot to protect your investment. This man is running around, and he should not be snapping the ball, and he's really taking off because your offensive line can't block. Where's his running game? Where's the running back? Did we not learn to in this type of game, you got to run the football? Using 4 or 5 running backs a game. We have seen McKissick, Davis, the big guy from the Packers. Forgot his name. It's a switch every game. The defensive side, we got guys twittering, arguing with each other. What is going on? This is not the Seattle Seahawks way. But you know what, Shim? On the bright side,
Get
on
your feet, you crowd.
it's 6 games. You hear what he's saying?
Sounds like he's hungry.
Feed the man. He's hungry. He wants to eat. For 6 weeks, he was doing this. Shim, I would apologize to you and Fogmeg right now. You guys told me that missing Zeke Elliott will be hard. It was. We could do without. Yes, the last few weeks you had Rod Smith, you had Morris doing their thing, but guess what? They're not Zeke. He's a different animal. Zeke being in this lineup is going to open up the passing game. Des Bryant probably won't see as much double team as he was in the past. I see a nice flow. The only thing I'm scared about is that David Irving's missing the game for concussion again. Tyron Smith is out, but I think we have it we'll have it under control. But having Zeke back, the energy is gonna flow. Shim, I have my Dallas Cowboys winning to 24 as well. And for those of you who don't believe me, yeah. Dallas Cowboys 28-24. You know what, Shim? After this, I'm playing Lotto.
I like that.
24. 24. Gotta play those numbers.
I like that a lot.
I don't get it. Pay some numbers.
Moving on, we got Monday night games now. We got a couple Monday nighters. This one is going to be starting at 4:30 p.m., folks. Your Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Houston Texans on Christmas Day. Should be fun. The Steelers can clinch a playoff bye by winning out and can still earn home field advantage if the Patriots botch it. The Texans are looking forward to next year, unfortunately. It's a gut-wrenching loss when your squad employs the best wide receiver in football and they go down with a scary injury that seems like it could be season-ending the way he was helped off the field. Even with not having AB in the lineup, I don't feel like there should be too much of a hiccup in the offensive production, as they still have high-volume pieces to go with. The Texans will do anything they can to rattle Ben, but he's had pretty good protection this year. The most interesting part will be to see how Martavis Bryant can step into the bigger role now after being overshadowed by his actions earlier this year of taking to social media about his pay, status with the team, other petty little crap about Juju, and that can be detrimental to a team in terms of antics. Overall, this will be a good test for Bryant, Big Ben, and the team as a whole as they try to prepare for the playoffs without potentially fielding Antonio Brown for the rest of the year. Let's see how they do. But I think it should be interesting. I got the Steelers taking this one 30-16. And what a circus catch here by Bryant. They want him to show up here right there on Christmas.
Okay. I will say this. The Steelers had a bad loss last week. against the New England Patriots, you got to beat them all. You got to beat them, and you got to beat the refs. You got to beat them. You can't give them no time, no clock, no none of that. You got to have the last possession and get the W, in my opinion. They're traveling to Houston now. Houston, they out the playoff, got nothing really to play for. I don't think Houston's going to be that type of team to want to tank and stuff like that. You got Hopkins, you got Clowney, who was very angry about losing the last game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were very angry. There was some words that was said about Blake Bortles being garbage and things like that. It was, you can tell the emotions that was displayed. Now, Shim, is Antonio Brown playing this game? No, he's not playing.
No, sir.
He's out. He's out. So, okay, we got Martavis Bryant, the one that sat down, and now they need him because something here is at stake. What's at stake is a first-round bye. They need that. The Patriots was to lose to the Buffalo Bills, and the Steelers win the next 2 games. The road to the Super Bowl goes to the Steelers. So the Steelers need to win this game, right, Shim? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what, Shim? Big Ben, I mean, he's looking kind of shaky, Shim. He's looking, the age is catching up to him. I feel it. An upset. Another upset, Shim. I have another upset. Yes, I do. I have the Houston Texans winning this game at home 21-20. 21-20. Antonio Brown is a big missing piece. I'm not going to discredit. Juju is a rookie. He's still a rookie. Martavis Bryant is a number 2 receiver. He has to prove that he's a number 1 guy, especially he's performing for other teams for that big payout. I don't think it's going to happen, Shim.
And then our true Monday night of the game for Christmas is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. I still got to think about it for like 3 seconds before I say their damn name. Las Vegas. It's just weird. I don't like it. This has playoff implications for both teams, but could be meaningless once the Sunday games are over with. The Eagles clinch home field advantage with a win, or the Vikings losing, so either way. And then the Raiders' needle-thin playoff hopes, they rest on winning out and hoping that the Chargers, Bills, and Titans, who are all 8-6, lose out the rest of their schedule. If any of them win on Sunday, the Raiders are out. The recipe for success the rest of the way is just execute the way they did last week against the Giants. Foles came out and threw 38 times, completed 24 passes for 237 yards, and got 4 scores out of it. That's the most you can ask for out of your backup quarterback. Deliver the ball with completions, progress down the field with no turnovers, and eat up some of the clock so your defense and special teams are able to fly around the field. Can't imagine this team doesn't come out fired up for the last couple of home games while trying to lock up that home field advantage. So I got Stephen Fox and his parents over here celebrating a win in Philly, 30-22. Get it, Fox. Get it, Fox.
Get Fox, man.
Yeah.
They do the WAP. That's the Fox Mix Shuffle. You know what? I promise the Raiders fans I won't say paper. Every time they see paper, they go all crazy and stuff. Paper is not the word of the week for them. But Shim, I'm not impressed the way the Eagles played last week against the New York Giants. I'm really not impressed. In my personal opinion, there was no way the Giants should have scored that many points against this Eagles team. I know Carson Wentz is a loss. The Giants had players that would not even be backups on other teams. No disrespect. Majority of the player was from practice squad. I mean, it was disgusting how Eagles fans think, oh, we beat the Giants. But Eli Manning, y'all couldn't get to Eli Manning. All those guys performed pretty good. Took out a distance. It took a last-minute drive, a last minute to win that game. Eagles fans should be worthy. What's going on here? We know we don't have wins, but you got to go with Foles. They're home. This is another test. I think the Raiders are a better team than the New York Giants. Way better team. The Raiders are still in the playoff hunt. They're still in it. They'll know Monday night if the Chiefs loses the game or if the Chargers lose right now. They are 6-8. 8-8 will be enough. 8-8 could win his division and make the playoffs still. So they still got to play. Two teams loses. Shim, I don't know if Amari Cooper's playing this game or not, but I think the Raiders do have enough attitude to go to Philadelphia and hit them in the mouth with beast mode. I have the Las Vegas Raiders winning this game 17-14.
I like it. And that pretty much wraps it up for our Week 16 pick'ems for the 2017 NFL season, folks. Me and Tim, what's that, bud?
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun. These last 2 weeks, seeing who gets kicked out, who gets eliminated, surprises. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. There's gonna be a lot to watch for in these next couple of weeks, and then after that, we're probably gonna have to move our show, unfortunately, just to infuse it with the Fury episodes on Tuesday, because we're only gonna have the playoffs to talk about from there. So, folks, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it, and if you tune in all year, we greatly appreciate that. Thank you to the subscribers. It means a lot. Me and Tim put in a lot of work, a lot of hours, and we just have a lot of fun doing this entertainment job. And we, appreciate the feedback and the comments that you guys give us on our live feed. And Tim and I, we want to sit here and wish you and your family Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And we also want to say, take a look at our group over here, 2 Minute Warning Sports 360. If you haven't, or if you're interested in getting in the group that Tim and I help run with our lovely CEO, Trisha, get in the group. It's facebook.com/groups/2MW Sports 360, as you can see in the top URL bar up here. Send a request, send a message, just say, Tim and Shim sent me. We'll get you right in the group, and we have some good discussions going on all the damn time. So happy trolling. And from Tim and I, God bless and happy holidays, folks.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.